our reporting, and this was our understanding at the time, it is still our understanding, that there was something that they were taking seriously as a threat. It is not this purported, information from Israel. Our reporting is not that the CIA gave an assessment in real time that they had low confidence in it. They might have later. There was something they were taking seriously, and they don't take threats with this president. He does get a lot of threats from Iran. I still don't know exactly the nature of the threat beyond what we've reported about Iranian proxies and other intel streams that they had going. We don't know how they decided who was going on what plane. We don't know exactly what the time frame was for how this came together. There are a lot of unanswered questions.
The memorandum of understanding with Iran expired today with no real progress toward any kind of end. The president threatened to bomb the S out of Oman, as we were talking about, which is an ally. They've downplayed concerns about, gas prices. Behind the scenes, is there any strategy to this? Or are they just, is there a strategy?
This is a White House that is built around one person. So if you look at last term, and you and I both covered this pretty extensively, there were still systems in place that reflected either institutional Washington or institutional politics. And Trump's team decided that they were going to give him, stop impediments to what he wanted. There was a belief that too many people who he didn't know in term one worked to stop him. And there certainly were people who viewed him as dangerous in term one. The reality is, though, that there are reasons that certain systems are in place. Often, systems and rationales get built around this president that aren't necessarily strategy or rationales. Every advisor who Jonathan and I speak to would like him to be talking differently about the economy than he is, and they would like the Iran war to be over. And neither of those things are happening. So we will see where things are in a few weeks, but right now this is not where they would like to be.
Maggie Haberman, thanks very much. More breaking news from Washington tonight to tell you about. The House Ethics Committee is confirming what CNN first reported back in June, that it's investigating California Democratic Congressman Jimmy Gomez over allegations of sexual misconduct. According to the committee, the allegations involve, quote, engaging in inappropriate sexual contact with a staffer, which is against House ethics rules. Gomez said in June that he'd made, quote, personal mistakes outside his marriage. He said his actions were, quote, consensual in nature and did not violate the law or House ethics rules. Much more ahead tonight, including what is behind the sudden stop today in the administration's hotly disputed border construction project in a Texas national park. Also, Ukraine giving CNN exclusive access to some of its most closely guarded military facilities, highlighting one of its severest shortcomings when it comes to fighting the war and protecting Ukrainians from Russian ballistic missile strikes.